Hello. Hello, everybody. So it is 7 o'clock, and we are going to be starting our weekly energy update here in just a sec. I will give everybody a little bit of an opportunity to get here together on our stream. So I am excited to talk about my chaos from my reality. Not that I really like chaos or craziness, but kind of good to discuss that and kind of see what is going on with everybody here. So if anybody wants to put comments, questions in the chat, you're welcome to do so, and I will do my best to keep an eye on that and address those things as well. So welcome. Hey, Robbie. Thanks for being here. All right. So, what is going on? What is going on in the cosmos in this week's energy update? So, it's kind of funny. When I started doing these energy updates, I wanted to really look like far out ahead, a couple weeks, month, and just, really get a heads up for what was going to be coming down the pipeline, so we could prepare. And we do that still somewhat, look at the weeks ahead. But I have been called to more recently really address what is going on now, maybe even kind of leading up to now, the last few days, week, or whatever, as a recap. And then to also look at what's coming in, whether it's the next couple days, the next week, or something, just, kind of like as the bubble of what is going on. But it just feels like there is so much going on and so much, there's so many shifts and changes that seem to be happening quite rapidly that it just seems like this is relevant and we're just going to roll with it. So I hope that works for you all. I am going to do some intuitive card pulls this evening as well, after the energy update and after we kind of have our discussion. So yeah, it'll be a nice energy update. So I always find it to be an interesting kind of cross study of humanity when not only in my personal life or interactions with people, I kind of just through conversations get a bit of insight on like what other people are experiencing. But whenever I have my shop open, which the shop is open this week, just through what people are buying, kind of the ebb and flow of people through the doors, and then what other people are kind of sharing and experiencing. It is very interesting to see how, yes, we all have our individual lives. Yes, we all have things that are specific to us and what we're going through, but how we also seem to have this, we're all riding the same cosmic wave. Maybe we're kind of in different places, placements of the cosmic wave. Maybe we're being affected, different aspects, categories of our life are being affected, but there's a common thread that I have really seen over the years when I started just really dialing in and paying attention to it. So doing these lives and having your interaction as well, where, you can ask questions or, kind of chime in and comment, it's kind of nice, to have that snapshot, from you, and kind of something that I say might not be relatable at all. I'm not saying it has to be, but it is interesting to see the similarities for sure. So just to double check, I assume nobody's complained, but can you hear me okay? And I know the video I think is okay, but I think the mic's working, right? Okay, I hope so. Somebody let me know, okay? And then, and I guess if the mic wasn't working, you'd be like, what is she saying? And it would just be me mouthing that. So hopefully somebody, okay. So yes, it is working. Thank you. So, where do we start? I will say that for the last couple days, I was getting the sense, knowing logically that no, Mercury is not yet in retrograde. It is not retrograde right now, but I kind of was getting that vibe. I was getting that feeling of the Mercury retrograde confusion. And it's like, it feels like Mercury's retrograde. Our credit card processing company had a major outage yesterday. Kind of feeling a little disjointed with messages, email, text, either lots of information coming in or just like trying to juggle and making sure that like there's, clarity going on there. Of course, Mercury governs communication, travel, transportation, the sending of energy, right? And so as I was preparing for the energy update and just trying to kind of like get some astrological explanation for what this vibe is, I realized that Mercury, which is the planet of communication, is conjuncting Pluto all week. And it started on the 2nd of February and it runs through the 9th. So we are in the throes of that right now. And so Pluto is the planet, I'm sorry, and so Pluto is the planet of like the underworld, the god of the underworld, and rules the undercurrents and the subconscious and life and death and transformation and all of those things. And so with Mercury conjuncting Pluto in that transit and that aspect, it is putting a lot of pressure on like unearthing, upending things for the end result of clearing and clarity. But it's kind of like what gets dredged up, what gets pulled up. And it can be a little topsy-turvy. It can be a little chaotic or a lot chaotic is what I'm seeing and experiencing in some ways. Now, communication in general seems to be has been very much a topic or a subject that keeps coming up for me with other people that I've been speaking with. And it's just like understanding that really clear communication, intention, nuance, all of those things are very important to try to have the guesswork taken out of it, if that makes sense. And whether there's like confusion that you have yourself, or if you're communicating with someone and you're like, what are your intentions? Where are you coming from? What do you really mean? Those are all maybe some themes or things that you are experiencing right now. Now, sometimes when we have just that general confusion, or we're just like, I just need the clarity. I don't exactly know what's going on here. What's being said, what's not being said, that's being said, or whatever it is. Just to kind of advocate for yourself and just ask, ask and say, um, you know, can you please explain your intentions here? What you're really meaning, right? Or what what are we even talking about? Are we on the same page? But kind of with this bit of this confusing energy, it is, it's almost like, but if we're not speaking the same language, or if that is a potential, even if we're speaking English, but it's almost like we feel like we're on two different planets, it might be still really hard to understand what is being said, or to also hear, to know what you're hearing. And I'm not saying that every interaction that I've had with people, or that people have talked about, has said that it's all been bad or it's all been confusing, but it feels big. It feels intense. It feels monumental. There are, other opportunities for really clearing some things up, really getting some answers, really bringing things from the underneath, or things from the recent past or the past to kind of bring up, address, clear, move on. Like, so that's to me very positive, very, very healing. But it feels really big for sure. And so I don't know if you all are experiencing that as well. I mean, I've definitely gotten some feedback from people that yes, this seems to be the going on right now. One thing that I want to mention and address too is something that I have seen and felt, because it's not just the interactions I've had with people or what I've observed. It's just, it's kind of this general feeling as well. And I'm sure you're picking up on it too, is that if a person or if a situation has a tendency or a likelihood or a underlying energy of paranoia, um, like things that would present as like mental illness, instability, fear, things that would make you maybe like not trust, be untrusting. That to me, I'm seeing that is coming up and presenting those energies are presenting themselves in people and in situations. And so, although yes, to perhaps not have those characteristics running underneath the surface, kind of in the background, and still definitely affecting things on the surface. It's kind of good to like bring those to the surface, I guess is what I'm saying. But if someone is um, truly suffering from mental instability, mental illness challenges. It could be physical challenges as well, like health, emotional state, especially if there is like the the energy of fear, or that would be on the negative end of the spectrum, that it could be extremely challenging. The energies that are coming through right now, it could seem like things are going really wrong, or you're losing your mind, or all of those kinds of things. And so one thing that I do want to just say, it's not really a disclaimer, but it is something to kind of address all aspects. We could call it debunking, maybe. But that I'm an intuitive person. I get intuitive nudges in a lot of different ways. I pick up on energy, I pick up on words, thoughts, images, all kinds of things. And I consider that to be normal, for me, right? And I've kind of learned how to navigate through those non-traditional waters. If someone is having those kinds of experiences, psychic phenomenon, or intuitive things coming through that they've never experienced before, or it's been a long time, it could be very unsettling. You could wonder if you're going crazy. You could, feel like your fabric of reality is becoming not only disheveled or slightly tangled, but it's being ripped apart. And then that can be scary. I'm not saying that it's not that you're blowing things out of proportion, but um if and this is kind of the debunking or disclaimer bit a little bit, it is always important to look at, you don't have to look at every single possibility that could be overwhelming, but to look at things that could be playing into that are not spiritual, intuitive, energetic in and of themselves. Let's just say, for example, that you have been taking a certain medication, and this could be medication for like blood pressure. This could be medication for, depression, uh, any kind of medication that might affect you one way or the other, whether you're taking it or you're not taking it. And let's say that you're having some experience of hearing voices. Let's just say, okay, or hearing a certain word or seeing certain signs, and you're feeling fearful about this. A logical kind of check would be to make sure that if you are prescribed certain medications, you've worked with a doctor or psychologist or something, with that, that you're taking your medication correctly. That maybe to look at that, problem solve that first, because medications, even herbal medications, can definitely affect you, right? Whether you're taking them, you're taking too much, you're not taking enough, you were taking them, you're not taking them now, all the scenarios. So it is important to kind of do a check of, are my meds right? Or, if you have a therapist that you're working with and you're working on certain issues, and then something major shifts and changes, Yeah, like, we don't wanna seem like we're crazy. We don't wanna be diagnosed with something or potentially, have it looked into that, we just gone off of our rocker, because that's, um, you know, our intuition and our spiritual connection is sacred, and we don't want that to be, like, villainized, right? But if it's something that, is kind of coming across as like a mental health issue or crisis, and you have a trusted provider that you are working with or trusted providers that you're working with, you might want to check in with them and just kind of see like what their take is on that and their approach. Um, and I think it is completely it is very much a possible potential reality of, you could have mental health challenges, you could have physical health challenges. You could also be intuitive or empathic and pick up on energy and, receive insights and messages. It's not like either you're crazy or you're intuitive, it's not like you're, that they have to go hand in hand either. But it's just kind of like look at all the potentials or possibilities, or at least some of the more likely ones. So, if you're a customer who comes to my store and you're saying that, you're having um, these things happen, where let's just say you're hearing disembodied words coming at you, right? I'm going to, kind of maybe ask a couple questions just to make sure that this is not a situation that would be handled by someone in Western medicine, first, like, or in addition to what I'm going to recommend. If you're using certain substances that are opening up whatever channels, whether they're real or uh brought about by certain substances, me just giving you a rock for grounding and spiritual protection is not just going to make that go away, if you are inserting certain things into your awareness or into your body or your energy. But it all goes hand in hand too. I don't want to act like, oh, well, there's this option or this option, and they're not connected. Everything is connected. Everything is. But we just want to do a bit of our like a rational due diligence as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. I mean, for yourself, but then also if someone is coming to you and going, "Hey, I'm having this experience," or I'm upset or I'm scared or whatever it is, let's look at all, not like I said, 100, potentials or possibilities, but kind of like, the ones that might be a viable potential. Um, and we know that when we do magic, when we do energy work, when we're talking about intuition or spirits or signs or whatever it is, we know that, or I know, and I'm going to share this with you, is that yes, there are many metaphysical, spiritual, energetic things that can be done that do have a real impact change on your reality and your experience of your reality. And you can call it intention setting, you can call it spell work, you can call it magic, you can call it praying, you can call it, I mean, there's lots of different versions of what this would be called, right? But there is also perspective. And our perspective and our lens can be skewed by many different things. Some is just like conditioning and, family patterns and stuff. But there's also some things that are very real world that can affect our perspective positively or negatively. That could be kind of looked at to kind of like process of elimination. It's kind of like, get that stuff out of the way and then kind of really see what we're looking at. Um, and to build on that, and I guess kind of to get back to what I was really saying, because I feel like I kind of just repeated myself, is that we don't do a spell, for example, to have um, more abundance and money come into our life, and then just literally sit on our ass and expect money to start falling in our lap. we have to take actions in the real world to to align our energy and to be open to the energy that we are saying that we want to, see, we want to run into, we want to receive in our life. We have to take action, or at least walk the walk in our real life, and do the energy work and do the intention work as well, because we are humans manifested in the physical world, and we do have a physical reality. That's our experience. In addition to all of the ethereal and the energetic and all the parts of us, our auric body, our emotional body, and our soul and our spirit, and all of these things too. We are still like, I'm a physical being, pretty sure, and so are you. So, anywho, that these things that are coming up for people in all kinds of different ways, I feel like the end result, or what is really that could come out of this, the potential, is for understanding, for clearing, for growth, for evolution. But sometimes change and knowing the truth, or seeing things really truly for how they are, getting to the bottom of things, all of that can be triggering. It can be hurtful or scary, or any of that. And so, and it doesn't have to be, though. It can be exciting. It can be new and novel, and I'm going to give you like happy butterflies too. It doesn't have to be bad. It's not like change and growth is going to come with all of this scary stuff or this really upsetting stuff. But depending on all the components, all the things that are kind of involved, yeah, that's possible too. And just because you're experiencing something that you're fearful of, or that you don't like, or it feels uncomfortable and stuff, doesn't mean that that's where you're going either. It's not like, oh, I'm feeling something fearful, and then that means I'm going to get more fear. That's what I'm walking into. But when we kind of pause and sit with that and say, well, what am I feeling? Am I feeling fear? What is this emotion that I'm feeling? Fear is kind of it could be specific, but it's kind of broad. It's really like that is the end of the spectrum, opposite of love, right? So when we are feeling any emotion, and we take a few breaths with that, and we say, what am I really feeling? Fear could be, there could be 20 other things that are kind of like synonyms, but they're really much more specific to what you are actually feeling. And when we give ourselves the space to really acknowledge and sit with that, and take breaths with that, then we can check in again and say, okay, so now I'm kind of feeling this energy moving. Maybe it's clearing, maybe it's deepening, but what do I feel now? And what is that? And how can I acknowledge and accept that, so that it can be integrated, and then it can be cleared, it can evolve, it can grow, change, whatever. Okay. So yeah, there's that. So let's talk about the new moon coming up. We did talk, about Pluto entering Aquarius, uh, which happened on the 4th, 5th, basically just a couple days ago. We talked about that the last couple energy updates. Here we go. Okay. And we'll talk a little more about Aquarius, because that's going to be moon energy. But, if you missed those talks, you want more information, you can check the previous last couple weeks of energy updates in the videos list too. Okay. So we have a new moon on February 9th, and it is at 5:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can do a little Google switch it up if you are in a different time zone. The new moon with Vedic Capra, it is in Capricorn calculations, the Vedic calculations, or sidereal astrological calculations, have the new moon in Capricorn, which is an earth sign. Okay. But with tropical astrology or Western astrology, it has already moved into Aquarius. And so it's not that it's really either or. These are different matrices. These are different formulas. These are different webs of information and ways of calculating things. And so I like to look at that we do have a bit of that Capricorn energy with this new moon. And we have a whole lot of Aquarius with this new moon because we have, like I said, Pluto having entered Aquarius. We are in Aquarius season with the sun. So it's like we've got a lot of Aquarius stuff going on. And this new moon is also begins the Chinese New Year. This is a lunar New Year. And we are entering the energy of the wood dragon. We in Chinese system, there are 5 elements. And wood, like in European witchcraft, there's earth, there's fire, there's air, there's water, and then we have spirit. But there's really not a wood element in European witchcraft. But what I like about like if you do any work with feng shui, which has origins in China, you do have other elements, like you have metal, you have wood as well, and wood is not earth. It's a combination of earth, and then we have the growth of the earth. It's wood. It's like a tree. It's not cut dead wood. It's actually more like tree or like bamboo, that has the growth and has the potential. It is an action energy. It is a yang energy, a divine masculine energy. And typically dragon um, um, animals in the Chinese zodiac system are a yang energy as well. So double divine masculine energy coming through for this year, which is a very projective energy, which is an action energy. Okay. Yin would be divine feminine. It would be stillness. It would be receptivity. And so we are stepping into a yang year with the wood element, and then also with the dragon energy. And that kicks off. That starts on the new moon on the 9th of this month. So on Friday. And and this moon is also a super moon, which means the moon is closer to Earth now than it is at other times of the year. So when we talk about this yang energy, the energy of the dragon, which is this intelligent energy, it is a wise energy as well, a lot of wisdom, a sense of integrity too. And then we have the wood element of growth, of vitality, of expansion. That energy has those two aspects are really kicking off this new year with so much potential. And it's not just like potential that's just going to kind of burst and go forward and then kind of fizzle out. There is like wisdom backing that. There is this strength that is backing that energy, that is perpetuating it along. And so I feel like that's why there's been so much talk about that this year has so much potential. This year has so much potential for positive growth and changes, and like still like business oriented. Yet, as we know, we're like, when are things gonna chill? It's just been 2020, 2021, we're just like, when are we gonna get a break? It's not gonna be a year of a break. This is powering through in that yang energy, which is not a bad thing. It's just, it is very, very deliberate and very strong. So the one thing that I would like to remind you of is that but these two energies aligning, dragon and the element of wood, we're thinking about energy that we have, like our ki, our chi, energy that we have that runs, through our body. It is the life force of the universe. That this is very much an energy that is coursing through you, that is pushing through, that is really wanting to rise up and have that clear channel of, to follow the clear channel, to move through the clear channel of, breaking blocks and just like being very, very strong, very healthy, very vital, very much in that vitality energy. And so instead of like coaxing it along, or just like pausing with it, which you just may need to try to take some deep breaths and, pace yourself with it. But that energy is going to be deliberate, and it is going to be projective, and it is going to want to bust through those blocks in your body, in your energy body, in your life. And so we're kind of along for the ride, which when you kind of are like, okay, I'm just going to go with the program. I'm just going to, dive into this energy, be inspired by it, let it carry me along. Yeah, you can maximize it. You can make the most of it. It just may feel like a lot, especially if you are more comfortable in the yin energy, in that stillness, in that receptive energy, and that energy of non-action, which is not like that's not bad. It's not laziness. It is just the opposite of the yang energy. So Diana comments, not realizing it was a super moon. Yeah, picked that up in my research that I've done. But yeah, the energy feels so intense, and big. So many so many big things coming from every direction. And Diana is one of the providers in our community space, and she and Derek Helvey are going to be doing a combined ecstatic dance and sound bath. 3 hours for the whole thing, in our community space on Friday night. It starts at 7 and it runs till 10. And that is a combination of not just the new moon, but of course celebrating the Lunar New Year, and working with the energy of dragon and of wood and of flow and of movement. So that information is on the Innerperfect website. If you all are local, you're watching, and you want to participate in that, there are still spots open for that. Let us wrap any questions up or commentary that you have about these big energies that are coming in. And if there are no specific comments or questions that we need to kind of discuss, then I want to move to the card reading, because I really feel like there's something that is wanting to come through for me to share. I'm shuffling while I'm waiting for maybe some comments or questions. Jumping cards. And this is like be found. Okay. I just need to become neater with my shuffling instead of letting cards just jump all over the place. Okay. And so I'd like to pull these sometimes for intention. And these are the be all cards. And this says, be still, listen to your heart's desire, feel the loving warmth of spirit. And speaking on this too, as we're moving into like Valentine's season, Valentine's Day is next week, next Wednesday too. And being in the energy of Aquarius, is there that excitement that you may feel, and the kind of the urgings of your soul and of your heart, and really being able to look at things from the past or things that are going on in your life that aren't serving your highest good or higher good, higher path, and being able to get that stuff out of the way. It's not like, it doesn't maybe feel fun, but it is moving that energy, and it could just be energy that's just been stuck or stagnant, right? And it is definitely getting space set aside for these newer high vibrational energies that we're coming into. This excitement, this innovation, this thinking outside of the box. This also Aquarius energies, this humanitarian, like true connection, like mind and soul and heart meet and really vibe and get each other, for the good of all. So we're stepping into a very different energy, and it's not just like, we're here and then we step into the energy and it's just like instantaneous. There is a flowing into that, but we're getting it from a lot of different angles. But when you are feeling maybe overwhelmed, or feeling like, wow, this is a lot, or I know where I'm wanting to move towards, I know where I'm wanting to be, but it's just like, so, it's so much, to to be present with yourself, to be still, to know that really where we are is that we are aligning with our heart's desire. That's what you came here to do, was to experience that heart-centered navigation and learn lessons, but to have these human experiences from that heart space, that we have to listen to it. We have to be still so we can listen to it. We have to be still so we can feel it, so we can check in with that. And that may help you feel more centered when things are feeling kind of like wild and crazy. And hello, Tori, how are you? And I am going to now pull a couple of tarot cards to see what we need to know about these energies, not necessarily getting into all the potential possible meanings of why all this chaos is happening and why there may be a lot of fears that are coming up. I feel like we've kind of talked about that a bit in the first part of this video, but I would like some insight on how can we maximize these energies for our highest good, for our fullest potential. How can we either maximize these energies, or what is like the cream of the crop, what we really want to spend our time, our energy, our effort focusing on, and what we can say, no, I just need to relax and let that go. So let us see what comes through with tarot here. So many cards that just fell on the floor. I'm just going to leave them on the floor. They didn't want to be read. That's what I'm going with that. Oh my gosh. Okay. They didn't flip over to where I can see them anyway. Oh, I love it. Look, the Fool card. The Fool card. These are holographic cards. They're pretty fun. But I first pulled the Fool. Fool is the number 0 in tarot. And oh my gosh, the Fool it is saying the world is your oyster. You have so much potential. It's like you're here to explore and have a good time, and you're just not, his little knapsack, right here, his little bag. It's just like there's just a couple little things in there. He's just got on a stick walking along. He is not carrying the rolling luggage backpacks, his little dog, which is right here. It's maybe kind of hard to see with the foil. His little dog is playing. His dog's not wearing the little backpack, helping him traipse through on his journey. It's just like, this is all I need. All I need is have on this stick, and I'm just going along, and I'm going to trust that everything is just going to be provided for me. And it's that excitement, it's stepping off into. It could be stepping off into the void. It could be just stepping off the ledge and going, yep, it's all going to work out just fine. So I love having this energy to, kind of kick off this reading, because I just feel so much potential. And it's really like you could look at the scary, negative, upsetting, inconvenient things as something bad, and what's going wrong, and am I cursed, or am I being punished, or something like that. You could look at all of those things in those ways, and maybe there's a lesson in that if you need to really, really dive in. But it's really more like when those things are happening, they're in your awareness. You can identify them, and you can go, do I want this, or do I need to go, nope, I'm going to let it go, or no, I'm not going to focus on that. It's not this sneaky little thing in the grass. You know it's there, right? And you choosing to, with your chest, like his chest is like up and open, and he's just like walking, right? He's walking into this fresh start. That's how we see things with that fresh perspective. That's how we see things with the excitement and simple joy, without being jaded and being so just bogged down by all these things from the past, or like what other people see us as, or like what they expect us to be, or society, or whatever it is. Just going, hey, I'm just living my life, and I'm just kind of putting one step after the next, and I'm just gonna enjoy this. To have that perspective, and no, we can't embody that every single second of every day, but this is the energy that we're walking into, and you're being encouraged, you're being invited into embodying that energy. You don't have to. You could be grumpy, and you could be a curmudgeon, and you could be stuck, and you could be angry, you could be scared, you could be any of those things. But that's with embodying those energies for the long haul, not just in the moment, is going to be the lens in which you see your life and experience your life. So much of it is about perspective, um, at the end of the day, for sure. Okay, let's see what else we get so that we can kind of build on this. We can kind of build on the Fool card. Okay. When we know the Fool too is like not dumb. It's just not like being foolish. It is like it's also like the court jester. It's like having fun. If you want things to not be crappy in your life, laugh a little. I think I have advised everyone in at least one or two lives to watch like silly animal videos if you need to be uplifted. That can really help turn your mood around. All right. Oh my gosh, I love this. Ace of Wands. We got Ace of Wands, I believe. Well, I know that I had done a card reading. Was that the last energy update? I don't think it was. Maybe I think I did a card reading and maybe I didn't upload it. I don't know, but I know Ace of Wands was there because I remember talking to the screen and explaining this. So we have the Fool card, we have the Ace of Wands. Wands, just like that wood energy that we're talking about with the new moon, with the Chinese New Year, the wood dragon. You see, this is not just like a stick that has, that is dead and that is like fallen on the ground. This is this is a sapling. And so the Ace of Wands talks about those new ventures, those new beginnings, what we want to step into, what we want to take action on, what we're feeling like led to follow, but that is going to support our growth, that is going to support our evolution. And, it could just be, it doesn't have to have this most uh, like heavy, important, it has to be the most important decision of your life energy. It could just be like, what's next? What is the next thing that I would like to experience? And it can be totally simple and beautiful and does not have to be the most important decision of your life. Some of you may be experiencing big decisions in your life, and that's okay too. Those come along with new beginnings or just before a new beginning. But this is just saying there's so much potential in this new energy, and like pick just a magical thing to experience. What is it that you want to experience? So I love this Ace of Wands. Next. Okay. Let us see what we get. Oh my gosh. It fell. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to take jumpers tonight. And the Strength card. Strength, Leo. Okay. The Strength card is the number 8, which is also the infinity symbol, right? We see here above their head. And I feel that with Fool card, Ace of Wands, and the Strength card is sometimes telling us that, yes, it is going to take that, I want to say intestinal fortitude. It's going to take the strength and it's going to take the will to have the courage to step into these new energies. Yeah, you may be excited about it, but it may scare the shit out of you too. And that's okay. But I also feel like the Strength card is not just calling you to step into your strength. I mean, that's a part of it, right? But it's also really telling you and telling us and acknowledging that you are strong, just who you are, being in your energy, being in who you came here to be and what you came here to experience is like the best strength of all. that is very strong. That is very impactful. That is very um deeply resonant, right? You're going to make an impact. And so I feel like you're being told like you are strong. You are either standing in your potential and in your energy and like trust that, or if you're have a lot of fear, it's like here's a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a of encouragement. Because this lady, she's standing here and the lion is not the lion in this card, he's like wagging his tongue and he's looking up at her like, hey. And they're like equals. They're fine. She's not scared of him. It's not scared of her. There's no like predatory energy about this. This is holding your head high. This is being in an energy of balance too. 8 is a even number. It's balanced. And so very much allowing yourself to feel supported by your higher self or the universe or helpful people or community or whatever it is, to stand in your strength and hold your head high and to have that kind of regal royal energy that Leo embodies so much as well. And knowing that you have what it takes to move into these new experiences. Know what you have. You have what it takes. Even if you're like, I don't know if I do. I don't know if I can do this, right? You can. I believe in you. So let me pull one animal oracle card. I am shuffling. Okay, this is Stacey DeMarco's Divine Animal Oracle deck. Let me show you. That's what the cover looks like. There is one of those animals in this deck. Well, let's see what comes out here. Okay. Freaking yes. The tiger. So we have a lion. We have a tiger. I'm laughing at a joke inside my head. This is a beautiful card, tiger. There is a woman that is she's riding the tiger's back, and look at that tiger. He or she is leaping into, it could be the void, it could be the future. There is a very there's a very determined energy, but there's a trust. There's a cohesiveness between the rider and the tiger that I see in this card. The tiger is the strength. The tiger is the inertia, is the energy. And this person that is riding the back is holding on and trusting, they're moving in tandem together as well. And I can see in the back here, you can barely kind of see that. There you go. I think that this is Lakshmi. This is, she has many different arms, not just two. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 hands. This is number 34. And this is so small in here, but it says will. I mean, this is your will. This is your determination. This is saying what you want to do, what you came here to do, that is so much more than just like, this is maybe what I want to do, or this is what people are telling me. This is like that drive and that motivation, and that this is what I came here to do and experience in this lifetime, that soul urge. That is the energy with this card. So I'm going to pull or open to the guidebook explanation here and just kind of look over, see if there's anything else that comes out. Do not be afraid to be fierce, especially as a woman. So for all of you females out there, let me build on that really quick before I read more. Walking into this energy of the Lunar New Year and it being yang and yang, right? The wood and the dragon energy. And like I said something, if you feel more comfortable in that kind of like yin, divine feminine stillness energy, we know that all of us, regardless of our gender, whatever, we all embody divine feminine, divine masculine within ourselves. And so you are being called to not choose sides or not say, well, I have to contradict or go against my natural inclination or kind of like what feels safe or what feels right for me or whatever. But it's saying that, we're going to be having this energy, this yang energy coursing through us. And so have fun with the intensity and the strength of that. It's just being more in that side as a dominant energy for this season, for this time. And Let's see. It says we can ride our healthy anger, but we must eventually transform it into something more useful. I feel that this is also speaking to, yes, if you're feeling a negative emotion, which, anger, is right there next to fear, right? That we can acknowledge what we feel. We would rather have that negative emotion be present and in our awareness and be able to like acknowledge it, accept it, sit with it, process it, and then move it out of the way if that's not what we're wanting to experience in our present and then what we want to lead into our future, into our upcoming energy. And so to be able to like really um and able to feel and acknowledge and sit with and be with what's really going on instead of like, I'm fine, I'm calm, I'm happy, or whatever. And there's all this other stuff like underneath the surface. It's going to be freaking running the show and really poking and bringing a lot of stuff up even into your experience because it's still in your energy field, whether you want to, acknowledge it or not, right? It's better out than in is what I'm saying. Um, and yes, Hunter, yes, you make some dinner and you listen to my crazy ramblings. I'm glad it's enjoyable. Um, let's see. This card is also speaking to the magic of the tiger being used to counter jealousy, threat, and rage. There's a territorial energy, it's highly protective, and helps us find a more resourceful way to deal with difficult situations and people. Tiger magic is feminine in aspect, and women can use it to help them gain confidence and to find their healthy fierceness. So, not that I am just speaking to the women in the room, but like I said, everyone has divine feminine, divine masculine in us, right? And we might have certain scenarios, certain situations, certain dynamics where we kind of like step into that energy. It feels more natural for us, divine feminine or divine masculine, receptive or projective, right? But I feel like I'm getting a bit of that energy, and I feel like this is a bit of the Aquarius energy too, because Aquarius can kind of have like almost like an androgynous energy, or kind of like, embodying both genders, kind of being a little more fluid. That I feel like let us maybe think about energy, just with this reading, and then maybe how it may apply in your life as what is action and what is stillness. What is true essence of yin or yang? What is um um what roles, what hats do we wear in our own personal life? And if we're feeling like there's a conflict or friction, or that we aren't being true to our nature, then we either need to get our perspective and get our energy into what feels resonant for us in the energy of harmony and balance. Or maybe sometimes it is to have this free spirit, this adventuresome spirit, to say, I'm going to experience something that is maybe different than what I am used to experiencing. I want to see the other side of the coin. I want to experience, my action, my adventure, my leaping towards towards this future energy, instead of just like instead of waiting or feeling stuck or feeling still. There's no hanged man here. There's no like waiting. There's saying also, I feel like this is taking your leaping onto those opportunities or to the situations. I mean, the worst you can do is go, yeah, I thought I'd try this, but this is actually not what I want to experience. This is not what I'm looking for. It's not like you made the worst. Well, some decisions could be that you made the worst decision ever. They're going to have to unpack. But if you look at new opportunities as like, what's the worst that can happen? No, maybe we don't say that. But it's just like, you leap, you take a step at least, and then you assess where you're at, how this feels. Is this what I thought it was going to be? And if it's just like, hell no, then you choose a different direction. You choose to leap towards something else, right? And it's not like you want to be leaping all over the place. Like you never want to land and stay and enjoy, but it's just like, it just might be not what you thought it was going to be. It just might be um different and doesn't really vibe with you when you get there. But sometimes it's worth taking the leap and it's taking the risk. Yeah. So anyway, tiger. And I think that's it. I mean, I could pull another card, another animal card. Do you all want me to pull another animal card and see what else we have? Come on. Let's see. Better be a bear. Hunter's like a bear. Let's see if Hunter can will a bear out of the deck. You ready? I'm shuffling. Let's see. Diana says she'll laugh if it's a bear. Let's see here. I'm just gonna I'm not keeping this card. It's not that wasn't a bear. That's a card that keeps coming up every single card reading. And I'm just gonna not show that right now, and I will just discuss that in a second. Sorry. Well, it's not a bear, but it's a bull. Okay. So we're looking at the bull. This is, gosh, what does that say? It's kind of dark right here. Oh my God, I don't want to catch my hair on fire. Ooh, sacrifice. This is like a sacrificial bull. Yeah, this bull, I mean, he's kind of like looking straight ahead. But I will read out of the guidebook, but honestly, I'm just getting the vibe from this is moving forward, moving through the storm, weathering the storm, and still putting one foot in front of the other. Okay. Happy birthday to you. I'm so glad you tuned in. I hope you have had a fantastic day. So this is, we see black and white, right? We see the energy of balance, but I really feel like it is putting one step in front of the next to get to where you're going. That's the energy that I'm getting off of this card. And also it is kind of moving through past the difficulties. You know, you're weathering the storm, but really that's behind you. And that's the energy that I'm getting off this card. It is number 10. No, is it 10? 40. But I will pull the guidebook meaning and see what this says, because it says sacrifice on this deck. I am still kind of acclimating to this deck. I think the artwork is absolutely beautiful. I tend to be what I really feel from a card person instead of what the guidebook tells me. Not that I don't take other people's interpretation or advice, but I do like to trust what really comes forward. But this card is speaking about sacrifice in the guidebook. It says all worthwhile things mean we must sacrifice something. Martyrdom rarely is a good choice. It is good to trust your tribe. Have faith that all will be well. Reciprocity and offering is something bigger than you as a powerful act. And so I see this as like exchange. Like when we talk about a new moon, and thank you, guidebook. Sorry, I was just like, I'm just seeing this balance in one step, but this makes sense too. So I will speak on it. When we talk about a new moon, we talk about it's a fresh start, a new beginning, right? And so if we are wanting to bring in a different energy than what we're experiencing, or we're saying, I want big, I want excitement, I want better, I want more abundance, love, whatever it is. If we're all full up, and we have talked about this, if we are full up and we are exhausted with all the stuff we're trying to carry with us into this new season, it is hard to receive. Let's just say that it wasn't like a cup that was full of stuff and the new energy that's going to come in is just going to kind of spill over. Imagine you're just carrying a bunch of like old suitcases and like I said, not like the Fool is, right? You've got all the stuff and you're carrying it, you're trying to juggle it. And the universe is like, hey, here comes some new gray stuff. And you're like, oh my God, like, how am I going to catch it? My hands are full. I'm going to fall off balance if I take on one more thing. But it's like, but this is what you want. This is what you asked for. you're going to have to lay down some of the old stuff to be able to have your hands open to receive the new stuff. You have to let something go. And that's what this card is speaking of, according to the person who designed this deck. And I do love that, that it is, there is a giving and there is a releasing and making room for, so that there can be that exchange of energy. And I do like that it spoke to that martyrdom is not really what we're talking about here. It's not like giving and sacrificing for the sake of doing that and then never receiving, because that's saying I'm not deserving of, I am not worthy, I am not, of course, a martyr, like a true martyr would be like doing that, out of the goodness of whatever, because they don't need anything. But we're humans and we do need things. And sometimes we need to let stuff go. And sometimes we need to have our arms wide open to receive. And so this is an ebb and flow, is definitely the energy that I am getting with this too. So I like it. It makes sense. I think very pertinent for the new moon that we have coming in on the 9th. So I split the deck. It was a gorilla. Sorry, no bear, y'all. No bear right now. But I appreciate you all hanging out with me this evening. This has been fun. And we are just like 1 minute over an hour so far. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up here. If you all have any last questions or comments, please definitely put them in now before we wrap up. You can always ask stuff on the video once it's like posted as a replay, and I will try to answer that. But during the live is definitely the best part, to try to address the questions so that I can talk to them and share that with everybody, and everybody learns, right? And everybody grows. So thank you very much for joining me this evening. I hope you have a fantastic new moon and blessed Lunar New Year, right? Charlotte, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, thank you very much. I love you, and thank you for being here. And you all will find this video under the live tab. And then I will also edit it down and have a little bit less blah 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 part, maybe, I don't know. It might also be on the videos tab too, but maybe I'll just leave it and we'll just see how it goes. I don't know. I need to start posting more videos that aren't live. I'm feeling a little more in my groove, still hibernating, but coming out of it slowly. So I'll be getting that done more regularly too. So yes, thank you, Hunter. I hope you have a good night. And yeah, I worked today, came home, did the energy update, and now I want tacos. So we'll see what actually happens. So you'll have a good night, and I will see you next week. All right. Bye-bye.